Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I did my makeup sort of off camera, but I will tell you what I did, what I like, and I'm gonna give my honest review of these products. And for mascara, but they have discontinued this. I do like this mascara. I wish they would do it again. But and we're going to be using this, and it is called Missed Call. Today I'm just doing a very light makeup. But we are going to talk about my pet peeves today and what they are and why I feel the way I do about these certain things. I have a very big pet peeve with bullying. Bullying is not acceptable. It is not something I will ever stand for. I understand that bullying does happen. There's no way you can change it, nothing like that. But I don't tolerate it. Another one of my pet peeves is I don't like when people sit there and they assume they know about your condition, or they try to, because they've never walked in your shoes, and I know they're trying to be sympathetic, but they think they know more about your condition than you do when you live with scoliosis. That is one of my biggest pet peeves. Another pet peeve of mine is when people think that people with disabilities should not work in the workspace, or should not go to school, should not become a doctor, or whatever they're meant to be. That is my biggest pet peeve. I also don't like that certain places are not accommodating for people with disabilities. There are certain places that I have gone that it was so embarrassing because people were staring at me and they weren't accommodated. I do believe that schools, colleges, and any kind of school, high school, elementary, should be more accommodating with push buttons and things, because sometimes, and people always assume, and we've had this a lot, my mom is an actual nurse, but people have asked my mom and come up to her and said, "Oh, you're her nurse," and my mom's like, "No, I'm her mom." But they always assume that I'm with somebody, but there are times when I will go out in public by myself and people just assume that I'm always going to have somebody with me, and I don't agree with it. I did have a personal assistant when I was in 2 semesters of high school, and I don't believe that it was, and her main job was just to get me from point A to point B. She didn't do any of my work, didn't do anything like that. The other thing I don't like, when people see me and they will start like whispering about me, or they make assumptions about me that I have not come out and said. There is a big consumption because people thought I had a baby in high school. I did not. I don't know where this came from, and I'm going to squash this in the bud. I did not have a baby in high school, was never pregnant. Never been pregnant, to be honest. I have nieces. I've babysat my niece and everything, and people assumed because I had my niece with me that I had a baby in high school. No. And actually, it was my nephew at that point, yeah. No, my niece was born. Sorry, my niece was born, yeah. Not a mom. Never had kids yet. Hoping to have kids. My biggest other pet peeve that I have is that people assume that because I'm disabled, I will not go to school, and they assume that everybody is going to be on SSI. I do not, and I've talked about this in several of my videos. I don't agree with that stuff. I know that people will come at me and say that it's my right to have it. But if I can work, don't you think I'd be a hypocrite if I took that, if I knew I could do stuff? And people thinking that I know I have limitations. I know what my school is. I've lived with it my whole life. I'm 34 years old. Don't you think by now I know what I can do and what I can't? But I always want to make myself better. I don't agree when people talk down to you. I had one lady literally talk down to me because I was disabled. Because she thinks I'm not smart. Newsflash, I've graduated college and I'm still continuing my degree. I've also worked 2 jobs at one time just to support myself to go through college. Everything I buy, from the makeup I use to the clothing I wear, I have either bought it or it's been gifted to me for Christmas, but majority of the time I buy my own clothing. And I pay for my own cell phone, internet, and home phone, and all the bills that come with that. And I'm still paying off my student loans. And hopefully I will be done at the beginning of next year. What people also assume that I don't have access to my own money, and people have asked this. I think it's kind of personal, so I will say it the way I feel. Yes, I have my own bank account. It is in my name, and nobody has control of my money. I do want to say that because I did get asked that. But I understand why people ask it, and I'm not offended. I just wanted to clear the air. Second thing that is my pet peeve, or I've lost count, so I'm just gonna tell you. Another pet peeve I have is that people assume that I can't have children physically. And people go, oh, well, you can't have children because you're disabled. No, that is not the case. My pregnancy would be considered high risk, but I could still carry a child to full term. And my doctor and I have discussed that, when I get married, what plans I will be taking. People also assume that I would not be able to care for my child and would have a nanny. And somebody has asked that. No, I would not have a nanny. No, I may have a babysitter for times when I'm at work or something like that. But when and if I have children, I will be the primary caregiver for my child. Unless, if I have a husband and he wants to do it, that's fine. But yeah. Another assumption I had that really irritates me and my mom is that people think I can't do stuff like drive or other things. And yes, I am saving up for a car. Yes, there will be modifieds that have to be put on my car, but don't assume I can't do something. I do have a driver's license. Okay? Okay. Okay. Good. Glad we're having this talk because I get this a lot and I just want to educate. I'm not mad. I just want to educate people so people can be educated. Also, another thing that I get, people ask if I have a personal assistant that stays with me daily or if I'm home alone or I live with family. I am alone majority of the time because I do work, and I do also majority of the time because nobody's here but me. People have also asked, what happens if you get really sick? What steps will you take? Will you be put in a nursing home? No, I would not be put in a nursing home. If it got that bad to where I got sick, my family and I have a plan that we will do and we will execute. I don't believe in nursing homes and I would not do them. People do ask, don't you think it's unfair for people to tote you around everywhere? And I usually, 9 times out of 10, am by myself. Now, I was with family and I did celebrate with family. Family was in town and we did do things and we ran around. I do want to clarify that. The biggest assumption I have, why do you not like Medicaid? They could cover your medical equipment, and once you get a certain age, when you are 21 or older, they do not cover wheelchairs. They don't cover anything like that unless you can prove you're fully disabled. And I work, I drive a car, I can do normal things, so I wasn't, yeah. They will not cover it, to be honest, because we did try to get my insurance to cover it. I don't like Medicaid. I don't like them at all. My private insurance would cover it, but the thing is, I make enough where I can afford it, and I have bought one. It just has not come yet. And I also bought a new walker. For people who assume that I can't walk or I'm paralyzed, I do want to say I am not paralyzed. Scoliosis does not mean that I am paralyzed. I can cook, I can clean, I take my own showers. I do not sleep in a hospital bed. I sleep in a regular bed, and you have seen it on this channel. That is another thing I get. People ask, why do I work? It's a little pathetic for me to be out in public working. And I do want to clarify, I make more working than I did when I was on SSI. I know this is personal. I'm just coming to educate. I'm not coming to bite anybody's head off, but I am doing this video just for educational purposes. But I make more and I'm able to pay my bills, and I'm getting paid every 2 weeks instead of monthly. So I'm paying off my student loans faster. Don't you think it's a slap in the face when you say, and I have 2 screens on over here, so I'm looking at both. The thing is, I don't think it's a slap in the face for me to get up and go to a job every day. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not inconveniencing anybody. I'm just living my life so I can have a future for myself. And I'm also saving for retirement because I know, and I don't know what the economy will be when I get that age, so I'm starting to save now, and I wish I had started sooner. I'm a big spender and I need to work on that. Why didn't you go to a traditional university? It was so much easier for me to go online to work with my schedule, because the first job I ever got, I was a nanny to an autistic little boy, and I've taken care of 2 autistic children. My disability does not impede me from taking care of children. I just do it a different way. I'm not currently nannying, but I am working a full-time job, and I do love children. And I did want to, like I said, at one point at the beginning of this video, I was a special education major because I felt like more people needed teachers. But then I saw, when the pandemic hit, I realized that education was not where I needed to go, and I decided to become a doctor. Do you think they would really let you in med school? Yes. I have talked to an advisor. They will. I don't know what cadaver labs will look like, but they can't discriminate against me because of my scoliosis. And I did at one point want to go into nursing school and get my physician's assistant. But when the lady saw me, she did not think it was the best fit and said that actual med school where I could be a doctor would be a better fit. So yes, I wanted to get my LVN and then get my RN. Who was your best friend when you were a kid? My best friend when I was a kid's name was Shelby Cross. And she said I could say her name on this channel. And we would have sleepovers every weekend when we were younger. And she is still one of my best friends. Yes, we did lose contact when I moved away and, lived life. But we are still friends to this day. And when I get married, she will be my maid of honor. And vice versa. Okay. Another assumption I have that I do not go to the bathroom on my own. Yes, I do. Nobody's here. I do it. I have handrails that help me. I don't believe in having an assistant. Like I said, I had one for 2 semesters when I was in high school. Did not like the person. We did not get along. We did not mesh well. And she ended up getting fired after I graduated, but that's a story for another video, and that's if I want to share that information. Why are you so obsessed with makeup? I just like makeup. I'm really girly, so I used to always get my nails done, but when I became gluten intolerant, a lot of the powders have gluten and talc in them, so I cannot use them. But I do my nails at home, and I did order some gluten-free, non-toxic nail polish that I'm gonna try out. What is your favorite retail shop? It used to be Target, but now I'm more into Amazon because I don't have to leave my house. Favorite thing to wear? Sweats. But I do like to get dressed up and girled up. What would be your ideal wedding? How much would you spend for your wedding? Okay, if I was to get married, I think $20,000 to $60,000 would be a good, but at this point, I would probably want to elope just because I'm not into big weddings, and I don't think that you need like 270 people and feed them, take care of them, but I would definitely like to wear a dress. I am not married, I just answering the question. What is your religious beliefs? I believe in God. I grew up missionary Baptist for a part of my life, Southern Baptist for a part, and non-denominational at this point in time, but I do believe in Jesus. Why do you always say God bless everyone? Well, I think you should, and I pray for everybody who watches my channel. You may not know me from Madam, you may never know me, but I do pray for everyone. Who is your celebrity crush? I think I covered this in the last video, but I said Jason Momoa and Chad Kroeger from Nickelback. If you could have dinner with 3 people, dead or alive, who would you want to do it with? President Kennedy. That'd be cool. Barbara Walters and I'm trying to think. Ted Danson. He's alive, but I would definitely like to have dinner with those people. If you could meet any historical person, living or dead, who would you want? And I have 2 people I would want to do this with, so I'm going to answer this question. It would be President Kennedy, of course, I would just love to meet him. But, and also I would love to meet Jesus. Not like right now, I don't want to, but I would love to like go back to his time period and chill with him. I know that sounds silly, but yeah. Why did you make the decision to wait till marriage? Okay, I made that decision because it is a gift I can give my significant other when or if I do get married, because I don't know what the future holds. But how will y'all accommodate when you do are intimate with your husband? How will you accommodate with your disability? I don't know. I am not there yet. I will answer that question when and if I do get married. But I think we'll know each other enough that when that time comes, How long has it been since you and your ex broke up? We broke up in 2012. So, and we have not spoken since then, so it is 2024. The last leg of it, you can do the math. But I do want to thank y'all for this video. I do want to thank you for listening to me about my pet peeves and some questions. If you do have questions, don't be afraid to answer them. Or ask them and I will answer them. But you can ask me anything. Nothing's off